our predictions for the 2023 Las Vegas Grand Prix. Now you join us quite clearly in a car because we are halfway through, maybe just past halfway through, the Grand Toro USA, brought to you by PokerStars and Oracle Rebel Racing. They have taken us on a road trip of a lifetime, and we thought we'd do something a bit special, a bit different, and do predictions whilst we're on the road. Didn't we, Tommy?
We did. We've been going around all over the US, seeing loads of amazing things, and we were like, when are we going to record predictions? Probably the most time we have on this trip, because we're doing so many amazing things, is driving to our kind of destination. So, little road trip. You're on our road trip with us.
You're on our road trip with us. We're in a Lamborghini Urus, which is
Who are we?
A delightful piece of equipment, I will not lie. So I'm very excited right now. And let's get into the predictions. Biggest good surprise. All right, Tommy, hear me out. You know, Las Vegas, we've done a video already, haven't we, about how chaotic it's going to be, how crazy. I believe that Charles Leclerc is going to be the biggest good surprise, right? I know it was only a couple of races ago I went all in on Ferrari previously. I think the cold conditions are going to work perfectly, especially in qualifying, for that gorgeous Ferrari, which of course has a special little livery for Vegas. I think they're going to be good. And this isn't just delusion. I genuinely believe, off the back of a formation lap crash, it can't get worse. So
you
if
predicted
Charles,
actually, no, you did predict Charles in the last race, and then he didn't make the start.
Oh no, it was, yeah. I think that was just my coping methods to say it was a couple of races ago. It was literally last race. However, if he starts the race, I'm arguing biggest good surprise.
No, I mean, not gonna lie, I was almost gonna say Ferrari. You know, long odd straights. They were good at Monza. I could see Ferrari being good. So you're not that delusional, but let's see if Charles makes it to the start of the race this time.
I feel like they will have had a big old debrief after Brazil and gone, well, that wasn't in the game plan. We have to start the race in order to score points.
Okay. My biggest good surprise, and it's not just because we're seeing this glorious man tomorrow, but I am going for Daniel Ricciardo.
Oh.
And the reason for that...
I love how you've teased, by the way, that we're seeing Daniel Ricciardo. Just out of the blue. Just there you go. I'm going to go see Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah.
I think AlphaTauri, oh my word, this view, sorry. AlphaTauri are really on the up after a dreadful start to the season, barely scoring any points. They could well end up finishing 7th in the Constructors. Daniel Ricciardo in the last race was incredibly unlucky. He had good pace. He was very quick, despite obviously the result not showing because he started a lap down. And he is going to be so pumped for Vegas. He's good on street tracks as well. You know, he's won Monaco. I think he's going to bring his A game to Vegas. He's going to want to bring his A game to Vegas. This is the track that before there was even announced that there was going to be a Vegas Grand Prix, he said, I want to race in Las Vegas. So surely, Danny Rick, come on.
As you said, we're seeing him tomorrow, and we know what that does.
Oh,
so
no.
If we
no,
film
get the
something
prediction
with
in
him,
first, though.
Yeah, all right.
So
well, what will
maybe.
go out first? I'm not sure. But I like the prediction, and I think he's going to be a very happy man because he's always wanted to race in Vegas, hasn't he? So let's hope for Danny Rick's sake he has a great weekend. Biggest flop. Okay. So my biggest flop for this weekend is Max Verstappen.
God's
He's not
sake.
winning. He's not winning Vegas. He's not winning Vegas. He's not. Everything points towards it being chaotic, and surely Sebastian Vettel's win record will at least be tied, but not be beaten. Look, you say for God's sake. I say I'm ready.
I say P2, it's still the biggest flop. So
Yeah, exactly. And also, I biggest flopped him in Singapore.
True.
And it worked. And I feel like my powers now are very strong, especially after this road trip. I feel delusional. I've gone for a Ferrari. Biggest good surprise.
So my biggest flop is, well, maybe a predictable one. There's logic here. I've gone for Alpine, and that is because
There's a straight.
there's a straight, a very long one at that. I think they're in big trouble. I genuinely think that if Alpine started the race on pole, they would be last by lap 1.
Gasly off the back of a very good result, though, in Brazil. That's
I know,
a lot straight, you
but
know what I mean?
my God, they're going to have a big problem on that straight. Maybe they'll surprise us. We know what happens when I go for a biggest flop. They just become the greatest
team, yeah.
driver or team of all time.
Could you not have flopped Leclerc? Come on. Can you change it? Do you want to change it?
No, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good. I'll let your powers do that. See what happens. So yeah, I'm going for Alpine for obvious and maybe predictable reasons. That I guess that's the form, but like we said in our kind of preview, it's a new track, and that's what I love. Like, the form is unpredictable. It might be completely different to what we expect with the cold track and everything like that. So who knows?
Who knows indeed, but I'm so ready, and I really hope we've not hyped up an absolute bore fest. Pole position now. I think you know where I'm going. The delusion train, the Ferrari hype train. For pole position, I'm going for Charles Leclerc. I've not learnt from Brazil, clearly. I just think, right, I am actually using logic here that Ferrari are really bad on their tyres. They're really bad at degrading and getting heat into those bad boys. That's why they're so good in qualifying. Vegas could well be in single digits when it comes to qualifying in the race and the time it's happening. So surely they're going to switch on those bad boys and be on pole by half a second.
Interesting, because I have gone for Carlos Sainz.
Ooh, I
With
was
the
actually
same-
thinking a little
yeah.
bit of that, but yeah.
Yeah, with similar logic that cold race, shouldn't have those problems of overheating the tyres. Well, they can actually get them up to temperature nicely. They were very good at Monza, of course. Carlos got pole there. Singapore as well. Carlos obviously won, so I'm feeling like this could be a Carlos Sainz track.
Do you see a Ferrari front row as well?
Yeah, I think I personally I found it very difficult to choose between Max, Charles, and Carlos.
Yeah,
And
I didn't for obvious reasons.
But I think that's going to be, like, if I had to predict like how qualifying is going to go, I could see like those three battling for pole and it being very close between them.
I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for another fantastic qualifying session. I haven't looked at the weather recently because obviously there was a little bit of chatter around potential
I think last
rain.
time I checked there was no.
Okay, it's cleared off, which is great. I'm absolutely fine with rain not being there for this weekend because I think it would be pretty crazy. You know, a new track surface, the conditions, rain as well. It could be Turkey times 100. We don't know, but interesting. We'll go to our top three now, shall we?
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. In third place, I have gone for Lando Norris. Why, you ask? Because McLaren have been very good. And
He's got very good race pace, and he's always on the podium.
yeah, pretty much. I think Lando will be on the podium again. You know, we haven't really spoken about McLaren in the predictions podcast, and I feel like we do them a slight disservice, but the way in which we predict is pole position, and I'm like, well, Ferrari. Especially in these conditions, as we've explained. But I think Lando will still be there. I think he'll have better race pace, like we've seen, than the Ferraris, but it's not a given. Just purely from, as I say, the new track surface, that could spin up a whole load of difficulties. We've seen what it's been like before when we've had new track surfaces. I still think that Lando will be on the podium. I fully trust in his abilities. He's in great form. He had his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Lando. And yeah, McLaren still there.
Nice. P3, I've gone for Charles Leclerc.
Podium for Charles. I'll take it.
Podium for Charles.
Bank. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want it.
It's hard to go into too much more detail because we've kind of already covered it in terms of that. I think Ferrari are going to be good around here. It's a track that should suit them with tyres and high speed. Charles Leclerc obviously good around street tracks as well. So I can see a podium for Charles.
In second place, I have gone for Charles Leclerc. Yeah, well, it is going to be a travesty in the sense of not another pole converted to a win, but this is the world that we live in for Ferrari fans. But he will make the start. He'll have a decent race pace. We'll see how the tyres go, but I envisage, because it's a bit cooler, that perhaps the Ferrari won't struggle as much. They'll have to be quite careful with, well, all the teams will have to be quite careful with graining and pushing the tyres too quickly in those cold conditions. But yeah, I think Charles got a good weekend in him, so I'm going for that.
P2, I have gone for Carlos Sainz. Yes. See where my predictions are going. Carlos, I think we'll maybe see the return to the kind of form with Carlos that we had with those 3 races where he suddenly just became the GOAT after we spoke to him. I think he'll be good around here.
In first place, I have gone for Max Verstappen.
This is so good as well because we're doing this podcast where normally we have our computers in front of us, we have a sheet and we plan what we're doing. We're doing this on the fly and you can see our whole like internal things of like, I think Max is not going to win, and then when like the Matt's delusion versus reality is just changing as we go.
I just started processing and I was like,
wait, who's left? Oh, it's going to be Max, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's fine, right? Because this is what I'm doing. I'm trying. How
You're not
far
putting
am I?
all your eggs in the same basket.
Yeah, and yours worked. I think when you didn't do that, you split your bets and you did all right. So, what's the scoring between us?
1 point now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I can't be too ridiculous.
No.
So I have flopped him, and also no. What am I doing?
No, it's good tactic. You can sacrifice 1
of
point.
course you're going to say that. I don't know. I feel like okay. All right, Max Verstappen P1. My reasoning for that is he's won 17 this year.
You have to give a reason. I love that.
I've gone for biggest flop, which is what I think will happen, but I also want to cover it off with a P1 Max, and then at least, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm getting 1 point. If he doesn't flop, well, no. Yeah, I am going to get a point because it's the biggest. God, that is
the system,
big brain
actually.
thinking right here. Love that.
P1, I've also gone for Max Verstappen, of course. And just like you said, it's almost hilarious that we have to go. The reason I'm giving a man who has 85% win ratio this year or whatever it is, and has won 21 of the races. Well, I saw that record is now going to be taken, even if he loses the last 2 races, which is insane. It's so hard to bet against him because I've done it quite a few times this year, and it's like, oh, this race is going to be crazy. Surely this is the time, and he still just delivers.
Yeah, crazy races don't equal Max Verstappen not performing. If anything, crazy races equals Max Verstappen showing that he's unbelievable.
Exactly. So, yeah, still maybe being a bit more sensible after being a bit more chaotic in the last couple of predictions and going for Max Verstappen for P1.
Let's go to our one crazy prediction now. And start with you, Tommy, because I've not thought of one.
I know you so well now that I knew that. I knew exactly what you were going to say before you even said it. I was like, you've not thought of one, have you? Okay, my one crazy prediction is that there will be a Pirelli tyre controversy over the weekend. I don't know how we measure it. Maybe if they do a press release or something, or like. But I'm thinking like similar to Qatar, but obviously like the opposite effect, because that was very hot rather than it being very cold. But I feel like there'll be something where drivers will complain so much about tyres and grading or something, and then they'll have to kind of say something or do something or maybe change something during the weekend. So I'm just going with like a bit of controversy on the tyre side.
My one crazy prediction is also similar to tyres. I feel as though we will see a difference in the way they qualify this weekend. So whether it's a case of they don't actually do their fastest lap on their first warm-up lap, we don't tend to see that all that often, but I feel like with the conditions, we might see something interesting where I'm not locking in an exact thing here. So it might be that even the medium tyres might be the quickest because they're better at sort of getting a slower heat cycle into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so something where they basically don't just go out on a soft tyre,
that's different. Yeah.
And then they do one lap and then that's it.
And that's the fastest, yes, as our charger goes absolutely flying, but we're not re-recording that. So yeah, that's my one crazy prediction, Tommy. Do you see it? Do you see it in your mind's eye?
Yeah, I could see them doing something maybe a little different. Like you say, they could have a number of things that you could claim with that, where they maybe like do a heat cycle on the tyre first and all that kind of stuff.
The strategy is crazy from me.
Yeah.
I've kept it open-ended, but I will be claiming the points. Okay, Tommy, let's now go to our 3 crazy fan predictions, and we are going to pick them right now.
We are. So prepared. Marion EB has gone for less than 10 cars will finish.
Wow! Is Logie Bear one of them? That's the question.
Will see.
Is Logie getting some more points? Will he secure his Williams seat?
That is bold. Speaking of bold, I'll just read this one out because this is very bold. Chris Hunt has gone for Hulkenberg finally gets a podium. I mean, Haas actually won't overheat their tyres.
Well,
I'm not saying that Hulkenberg. Yeah, they'll give it a good go. I actually think that maybe my Pirelli tyre controversy is that everyone can't heat their tyres up, and then Haas do a 6-stop and just burn through their tyres still. And you're like, how are you doing this?
Instead of 10 laps where Haas fall off, it'll be 15. That's what. Hulkenberg, my goodness, I mean, what scenes that would be.
Molchero has gone for Alex Albon top 5, which is bold, but Williams on that straight. Good quali from Albon, and then DRS train for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. I can only imagine how quick that Williams is going to be in a straight line for Vegas.
Yeah.
They might hit 400 kilometers an hour. They could break the record.
Yeah.
Because it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? If the Williams can cope in those slower corners, then
they'll turn up with no rear wing.
Yeah, they actually will. Okay, cool. So that is our predictions. Tommy, we've done it. We've done it from the car.
On the road.
If you are out in Vegas, if you are near Vegas, we will be doing some kind of meetup. We don't know the exact logistics for that, but if you want to find out more about that, we'll post on our social media once we've figured out all the logistics. Matt P1 Tommy. Keep an eye out for that. We can't wait to see some of you in Vegas if you are going. And we'll see you very soon. Thanks for tuning in to this very different predictions video / podcast. And we'll see you for our wrap-up thing on Friday. No, Thursday.
Thursday.
Probably Friday. You'll probably see it on Friday.
Yeah. And I hope the camera's been recording.
If not, then thank you for listening to this audio podcast of the predictions. Bye!
Bye.